Welcome to Super Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today we have with us Axel Tischer. Axel, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing, my friend. I know we had a minute or so, like trying to figure out this live thing, but we got connected now. I'm so grateful that you took the time to come on our show.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure just, when somebody takes the time just to, chat with me or just hear my story. So thank you very much.
I love it. No problem. My pleasure. So how did you get into wrestling?
As a fan, probably the majority of any wrestler, you start as a fan. So you start watching the product, watching whatever in my case was WWF at the time, early 90s. And
same here.
Yeah, so I was always a big fan of cartoons, He-Man, Turtles, so the larger-than-life characters, right?
Yes.
And then I saw the first time wrestling, and I was right in love with it. I saw the Ultimate Warrior just have this battle with Hulk Hogan, but I was a little bit too young to understand it, or 5 years. But then I saw The Undertaker, I saw Hulk Hogan again, I saw Bret Hart, and I was in love with wrestling, like the larger-than-life superstars. And I couldn't stood away. Even like my parents tried to bring me to the bed because, as a 6-year-old, you have to go to bed early. No, I had to stay up like to watch wrestling, peek through the door, and then eventually just sitting on the couch with my parents together and watching it. So that got me right away.
Yeah, you fell in love with it.
Yeah. And then, so 1993, watched it, I'm aware of watching it. My first pay-per-view, WrestleMania 9, Caesars Palace, Las Vegas. And then in the year 2000, I had a break because of school, and they broadcasted the Raw and SmackDown episodes very late, so I couldn't stand up for that because I had to go to school. But then in the year 2000, beginning 2000, actually it was Royal Rumble 2000, I fell again in love with wrestling, but this time I was 13 years old, so I was a little bit older. So I kind of understood it a little bit more. And then I had a friend who got, invited to wrestling training in my hometown, and he brought me with him. So I got in touch with wrestling the first time, year 2000.
And from there's amazing stuff happened from there.
Oh, yeah, probably. The first years, just the hard start and just try to figure it out and, try to see how it goes and how the body responds to it. But then...
go ahead, sorry.
I just figured out that the love of watching wrestling was also there for doing it, for eventually become a professional wrestler, for... The dream grew in my head just to be a full-time professional wrestler to make a living from that. So that makes sense.
Wow. Yeah. When you said WWF, it just brought back some memories because my older brother, when we used to watch it, so anytime there's a move, he would just grab me and take me down. So I have those memories of wrestling, and my dad used to love it. Like we used to all watch it. I never got hooked, but my cousins, everyone, they just, absolutely, like on weekends, that's all we did. Like Saturday, Sunday, it was just the wrestling was on, right?
Best thing ever.
Best thing ever. It was entertaining.
Everybody had their favorites. Everybody cheered. Yeah. And you get it together like for Thanksgiving or something else, and you watch the pay-per-view. And exciting.
So are you? What is the future of WWE?
In general, I think the future of WWE that it probably goes towards a little bit more like more sports entertainment, more like I would say so recently we had WrestleMania, and I believe the way WrestleMania is the spectacle, they called it the most stupendous 2 nights in history of the WWE. And the logic behind, I believe, is that they want to present something else than wrestling with the foundation of professional wrestling. So it's for them, it's sports entertainment, because Vince McMahon said in an interview, everybody can do professional wrestling, which is kind of like agree, some kind disagree. But the way WWE goes at the moment is totally towards mainstream. The more mainstream it gets, the more profits they probably make, because you have a guy like Logan Paul on WrestleMania, Johnny Knoxville, which gathers more eyes on professional wrestling or in sports entertainment. So you have the bubble of the wrestling fans, right? They love all their wrestlers that they have seen over years in WWE or somewhere else, plus the mainstream guys who just not aware of, oh, that's what's the product right now. They probably familiar with wrestling, but because they hear it, they saw it, they know Hulk Hogan, all the other legends. But right now, WWE wants to get more attention on the entire product, on the entire WWE product. So probably something, a lot of speculations about Disney will buy WWE sooner or later. And
who will? Sorry.
A lot of speculations, which you can hear on the dirt sheets and on the wrestling news, that Disney is probably buying WWE soon.
Wow, really? So it is entertaining, right? So
it is entertaining, and you had some Sasha Banks, for example. She's one of the women's wrestling athletes there. She played in the Mandalorian role, and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He got famous in WWF back in the day, or WWE. Then now he's the biggest star in Hollywood ever. So there are a lot of connections between them, and a lot of speculations that sooner or later WWE will sell to one of the major bigger companies.
Makes sense.
But yeah, in the end, it makes sense. And in the end, it's the way they do it. It's a big company, and the big company wants to make the most out of their product possible.
Or maybe one day you'll buy it. Come on, let's go for it.
No, I don't. First of all, I don't think that they will sell, to me. No, but to be it's like I do not have billions of dollars. Not now. Not now.
This just needs a goal. You just need a vision. So that's why I want to get back. I want to get back to the next question I have is that, for you to get to this point, it must have required some serious mindset, because you were training every day, right?
Right now, yes, I'm training every day. I have my schedule. But before there, you training kind of every day. Let me say this, you kind of mentally training every day. Physically, you can train every day. Sometimes you should not, because you need to recover, but mentally you're always training every day. Because
can you explain
for me,
that?
For example,
after, yeah.
So today is a day off, but it was a travel day, because the past 2 days I was working in England. So today is a day off, but I'm still thinking about resting. I'm still, the flight back, I could chill out, could watch some Netflix or whatever. No, I watch wrestling matches because I want to get new ideas. I want to be creative. I want to take notes and, be involved with the whole material of professional wrestling, because I want to become a better me day after day.
Yes.
So this is a mental training for me, because I'm kind of like, I stick to my guns and try to improve.
Yes.
Constantly.
But it takes a lot, right, to have that consistency, to have that determination, because we all have those days, we wake up and have that mindset. So I know there's a way to overcome all that. So I'm just wondering what you have implemented in your life to make sure you're more consistent than not. Like, do you write things out in the morning? Do you do some kind of journaling? Do you do something with your minds? Like, how do you train your mind that you specifically mentioned?
I train my mind with being focused on what I am passionate about.
Okay.
And because you have to love what you do, you have to be passionate about that. Otherwise, you will not have fun, I believe. Yeah. So, for example, my job is to be a professional wrestler, but you can scratch that title job, because, it's fun and it doesn't feel like work. Yeah. When I put the work in, it's because I want to do it, and it's because I love it. It's not I have to go and work into a factory just to put food on the table. It's, the stuff what I would love to do, which I can do, which I'm quite frankly good at. That's my job. So I can put food on the table with that. And that thrives me forward.
Yes. Awesome.
That is the stuff, that's my fuel. So when I watch a wrestling match, I watch it as a fan / as a professional wrestler. And I feel like when it's good, when I study, but when it's a good wrestling match, it's automatically, it's like lights the fire up. It's like, oh, I can do that as well. Or maybe I can do that with this and that. I can put my own salt and pepper on it. So I'm constantly thinking, and that's what I mean with the training. And the consistency is just simple. It's hard work pays off. Yeah. And when you get the reward out of that. So for example, today I watched a couple hours of wrestling, some matches, different matches from a different wrestling culture.
So not Netflix.
No, not Netflix at all. No, to be honest, I was thinking about it, and then I'm kind of like, I want to watch wrestling because I had downloaded some awesome wrestling matches on my YouTube channel, and in the plane you do not have internet, so that's why I choose hey, let's watch them there. Watch the matches from Japan, watch the matches from England, watch the matches from the United States. So, and I try to create for myself, to be a hybrid of different styles, just to be maybe unique or just to be a rounder, I believe as a professional wrestler, as a professional athlete, you need to be able just to be like a chameleon, you adjust everywhere you have to go. So, and for me, again, the consistency stays with it, because if you're not consistent in what you do in your profession, you probably lose the next spot. You probably lose the next match, because also professional wrestling, you need to be compatible. Mm-hmm. And I'm very competitive.
That's great.
For me, it's the thing I do not want. So when I show up, I want to be the most prepared, the best dressed, the best looking guy. Awesome. I want to get into the ring with the goal of, I want to go backstage and kind of want to have this attitude of that, follow that motherfuckers, So it's that what I got taught, and what is still the passion there, but in a healthy competition way, not in in backstepping something, but kind of just, force the other guy to step up.
Yeah, healthy competitiveness. I want that the
other, the other guy as well. When he does a banger match and I'm next, okay, there's the challenge, there's the competition.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So are you going to continue for what's your plan? Are you going to keep doing it for a while? Do you have some kind of goals for this? For wrestling?
My goal is, so I was employed for 6 years WWE, and now I'm back in the Indies, and I'm looking just to get maybe another big contract, just to get contract by one of the majors, which is always a big goal, because it's a nice life if you are constantly on television, if you have the goal just to move up the ladder right there, and also to have an secured income, which is super, super sweet. I also just establish myself, just get my name out of there, and eventually just have a successful career to the point where I can say, okay, I've done it, I'm happy right now, but I want to go to the point where I say, okay, I'm happy with what I have achieved. So now I'm still healthy, I'm still good physically and mentally, so I can retire in an easy way, that I can still play with my kids, lift them up, or just run around, or just maybe, I don't know, wrestle with them. But, just retire as an active part of professional wrestling, and just get back and get more in a mentor and a trainer way, because I want to open up an own wrestling school in my hometown here in Germany, just to pass the knowledge on, which I got from legends like Shawn Michaels or William Regal, you name it, all the guys where I learned from at my time in WWE and even before, just to pass it on to the next generation and pass on kind of my knowledge hopefully give them something of my passion, that they kind of get the same motivation just to constantly work on themselves to become a next superstar. So
Awesome.
yeah, and I think that's a good goal for me, and that's probably also a realistic goal. And I don't care if I become a world champion in one of the major leagues, whatever, because in professional wrestling, that's always a big goal. But this goal is not everything. Everything, I believe, is, so in my mind, I want to be a professional wrestler, which is kind of like successful in the way of like he's done something. He performed on the big stage. He performed on a high level. He was very competitive in the way of like he put some banger matches out there, and also, you know, he's well liked and well known. So kind of like an average goal, without just saying I want to be the world champion, every company, whatever. Of course, that's nice, and just, you know, to become a champion is always great, and, you know, has a value. But I think the bigger value is just in having like all over successful career in the professional wrestling world.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, Axel. And, you know, it's funny that when you mention that, so far, whatever you're mentioning, it feels like that's what I have ready in my mind to ask you next, and you bring it up. It's like it's scripted, the whole episode, but everybody knows that this show is all about raw and real, and we don't script things. But it's so funny how every time that you were going to a point, it was my next point. So my next point is about business, like entrepreneurship, you know? Yeah. So you mentioned that you want to get, you know, open a school, a training center, which is so incredible, because we should all, when we find any kind of success, we should be, only focus should be, is how can we serve the masses? How can we give back? How can we do more? And you're doing that by even thinking that way, right? So what are your business plans?
My business plans, so I plan just to kind of like spread seeds all around me. So awesome. I have some investments where I just put an investment.
Multiple streams of income.
Yeah. Eventually. Good. So I plan, so I invested in some crypto. I invested in some stocks, just a little bit, not too much, because, you know,
just play around with it.
Play around with it. See, so like with money, which doesn't hurt to lose it eventually, but hopefully not. So for example, like Bitcoin, when it came down to 30,000, I just bought, and then it got up to 40,000. So something like this, and then eventually getting more. I bought recently a crypto miner for
you did?
Killian.
The server?
A server. So probably
amazing. That's good.
This will it will arrive I think in 2 months or something, because I just ordered it with a friend of mine. He's very smart with he's an IT guy, so he's very smart with that. He helps me with this, so I want to do that with him together. Then the wrestling school, I plan to put out like a fashion line out there, because I have something in my mind. Just want to bring something out which is kind of like streetwear, but more towards casual, so kind of like business clothing, but just not in a really like strict type. It's men's stuff, but if there's an interest for women as well, but who knows? And then also for me, it's also a thing. I plan just to grow my own brand a little bit more out. I have some offer, personal brand. Personal brand. I have some, what's the name for it? Inquiries for like acting, stuntman stuff, and being like a stuntman coordinator, which is cool. Yeah. And that's awesome. There's coming soon something. I'm not allowed to talk about it right now, but there will come something, and it has something to do also with the Hollywood production. So we'll see how that pays out. Amazing. It's probably my first step in there. So it's like everything, but also the most sacred thing in my life is my private life. So the second child is coming in August.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. I'm a busy man, and also professional wrestling right now. I'm an independent worker. I'm now trying to get more established in the UK wrestling scene. I'm all over the place in Central Europe right now, but UK wrestling scene is something, it's in Europe as well, but like the scene is very different, and like different names and different challenges right there. So
that's awesome. Great plan, great stuff. And all the buckets are can be lucrative. And if you're following a good direction, I hope you make it really big in Hollywood. That'll be awesome.
Thank you.
Just remember us little people, when we message you and stuff. But other than that, I know you're gonna make it big.
For me, it's always the thing. Like a lot of people tell me, I'm the same person.
I can tell.
I went to WWE and after I came back, but for me, it's always the thing. We all bleed the same blood. We all humans, and we all cook with water, etc., etc. So I had so many people who changed because they made a little bit more money or they had success in something. But my coach in wrestling, one of my first coaches, he always said, if you think you're somebody, you become a nobody. And it's not bad to be a nobody, but if you're a nobody because you think you're somebody, you lost the point of just being successful. Because look at all the successful people, especially in professional wrestling. For example, The Rock or Dwayne Johnson, they're all hungry, but also humble. And they are successful because of they do not scratch and claw in the wrong way. They do not backstab or politic, whatever. They are competitive. And they say, I'll work you, but I will work with you. So let's work together. But no, you will not outwork me because I'm working more. That's why I make more. And that's a healthy way just to be successful. And that's a super, super role model for me, for example. And I always remember just, if you think you're somebody, you become a nobody.
And that's a good point. And I think, there's a different level to that as well, is that when you think you're somebody in an egotistical way, like with ego, it's only going to backfire. But if you feel at a deep place, subconsciously, if you feel that you already somebody, and you just feel like in a humble way, like you mentioned, that you just feel it doesn't express to anyone, you just feel it, and you operate from that level, you will see the quality changes, the results change, everything changes. So it's a gray area in that statement, but it's right on about the ego, because ego destroys.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I've seen that around too many times. But we always like to ask our guests what their inner superpower is that got them to this point.
I think even sometimes it's hard. Especially nowadays, but I think for me it's positivity, because I learned that the glasses always half full and not half empty. And again, like nowadays, a lot of times it's like, oh god damn, that sucks. The weather is shit. And sorry for cussing too much, but it's
we'll beep it out.
Yeah, it's always that for me. For example, if I don't know, if somebody wants to gossip, right? Yeah, and it's so easy just to hop on that boat and just ride along. But also like a lot of like, look at that guy, this stupid hat, and I think it's okay if he likes it, fine. Yeah. Or if somebody says, oh my god, the rain is it makes me mad. So it has to rain that the flower can grow. So in a lot of times, and I learned that really quick that, so for example, I grew up in a normal parenthood. My parents were not super wealthy and not poor, it's just the middle class and everything. So we had to think about what we can afford and everything. So it's just regular life. But a lot of times life is just punched in the gut and you try to crumble down. But my mother always told me, as well as my father said, there's always it's always, well, I have to translate in my head. It's like when it's not over, it's not good, it's not over, something like that. But there's always light on the end of the tunnel. The sun will shine tomorrow. So true. So something is punching you and knocking you down. You just have to get up and just, do it better. If you fail in something, you also have to make it better. And also you learn from mistakes, etc., etc. So I think my inner superpower was always that, it's okay. I take optimism. It, get up, optimism. Yeah, optimism. Yeah. Short and sweet optimism.
Yeah, this is so amazing because it's so true. Having that viewpoint, that perception. Like perception is one of the best gifts that we were given. but it was so overlooked because we don't know that we can do things with it. And the number one thing is, like you mentioned, if it's raining out, oh, the grass is going to be green. Boom, right away, right? It comes to mind. But then it's the programming, because if you're programmed to think that is bad, you think of the bad. So it's that is a superpower, actually. That's how you created the results that you created. And I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to speak to you, because all the things that you're seeing are a recipe for big things. And wherever you're going, I want to wish you all the success and the best that you can achieve, as for yourself and your family and for others, and the service that you're thinking of doing by creating that gym and that fitness program, all that entrepreneurial stuff. I want that to be a success. And, if there's any other final words that you want to share with the audience, that'll be great.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like try to stay positive, and no matter what happens to you, there's always light on the end of the tunnel. And like, very important. And it's hard sometimes, but sometimes we have to struggle, and sometimes we have to really just, get through some rough times just to have an easier life. And for me personally, it's like, if we don't forget that we're all humans, if we don't forget that we can be kind to each other, even if we have nothing. And sometimes people have nothing, so more giving than people who have everything. And a lot of times I see so many like sad things in life, and if I could help everybody, I would love to help everybody, but I can. But I think if we all do our bits and pieces, if we all give our 1% to everything, and we all get together and just live a peaceful and great life, and just be nice and the best person and human being possible, the world will be so much better. So if I can say anything to anybody who's listening or watching right now, is kind of just, try to be a great human being, and then the world will be better for you as well.
Perfect. Axel, well said, my friend. You are on fire. Amazing. And then whenever anybody wants to reach you, we're going to have, we'll have professionally done show notes. So those show notes will show all your links and anything. If people want to get in touch with you or check out what you're doing, they'll do so. And I really want to thank you for coming on the show again. And stay in touch. I'm active on Instagram mostly. So stay in touch. I followed you already. I'm going to check out your content. Engage. And if anytime you need my help with anything, if you have a product you're launching or something like that, just send us an email or just send me a DM.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I'd love to support you.
Follow you back now. So,
all right.
Awesome.
All right. Take care, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me.